Kyle Busch found himself in a terrible situation after the last race in Texas, as he wrecked in the very early stages of the race, butchering his chances for the future of the playoffs while doing so. It is not every day that you see Busch crashing and then having a complete mental breakdown over it. But what can I say? The day has come, and this is definitely not good news for Busch. After his latest statement, it seems like the former Candyman has lost the ability and the confidence to perform in the remainder of the playoffs. And after Denny Hamlin's latest words, this might be something he'd like to reconsider. Because in NASCAR, you don't have a lot of time to pick up the broken fragments. It goes without saying that not many people believed Busch would be where he is right now with his new team, Richard Childress Racing, and not because of his ability to drive the car. He has been doing that in a perfect manner with JGR for 15 years, and has won 2 championships in 2008 and 2015 while doing so. It's the fact that he downgraded from a championship caliber team to one that is easily perceived as an outsider if you are to compare them with Joe Gibbs' equipment. However, the harsh reality of the ownership part of NASCAR's business model has hunted down Busch and forced him to not only look for a new team, but a new sponsor as well. This came with ease for him, and boy, did he not disappoint the financial backers of his 2023 season. But in the latest race in Texas, he committed a crash that was easily perceived as an amateurish one, something that he said with his own words should never have happened in the first place. NASCAR is a ruthless place, and if you want to win races and championships, you have to always be on your toes and keep the momentum on your side. Not to take anything away from Busch, he has done that in a perfect manner so far, but it seems like a small mistake has cost him a lot regarding the foreseeable future in the playoff bracket in 2023. Busch spoke with Bob Pockrass, Fox's expert, where he literally had no idea what went wrong, as he elaborated. Everything was really good, and then we had those couple of restarts. I restarted on the top on that last one. I felt like I had a flat right front. I was going to come to pit road, and I second-guessed it because I was like, man, you know what? It just doesn't feel like a flat right front, just debris on it. But it was shaking and vibrating. Then I just went back to the bottom of the racetrack to mind my own business on the bottom, and then just swapped ends with the back of the car. So, had no idea. I'm just at a loss for words. I don't get it. But you know, I hate it for all my guys on my 3 CHI Chevrolet. The car was fast. I felt like it was going to be a good top 10, top 5 car for sure. Nothing to show for it. Yes, Busch's season has been quite adventurous, and if we were to anticipate it would have ended like that in the regular part, I guess many of us would have been wrong. However, there is one thing that is also worth mentioning: his inconsistency. This is why many believe that even though he managed to qualify in the playoffs in such a high-regarding manner, he wouldn't survive the first round, but he went on to prove everyone wrong, and he is still fighting even after that horrible crash in Texas that caused him to finish P34. And fighting is exactly what Busch would have to do in the following 2 races, because he has definitely dug a deep hole for himself, one that is not easy to get out of. Right now, the only thing that could save his playoff hopes is a victory, and with how tight the competition is, I highly doubt that Hamlin or Byron would be leaving their way open for the number 8 car. Still, knowing Busch and his championship-winning mentality, these are the situations under which he thrives, and if we are to expect something great from him, it's going to come in the following 2 races. What was even more desperate for Busch was the fact that he wasn't even able to complete the race, finishing 73 out of the total 267 laps due to the DVP, or Damaged Vehicle Policy, clock. Busch is one guy who is very critical when it comes to the performance of the other drivers, but this time he had no one else to blame other than himself. And that is exactly what he did, as he continued to elaborate. It seems like every time I try, something happens. I crash or whatever. That right there, I just said it 2 laps before that. I got up on the high side and was like, you know what? I just need to stop and just run the bottom. Just make laps here. Just finish the stage and it swaps ends on me. I don't know what to do. If someone wants to tell me what to do, I'm all ears. There are not many moments in NASCAR history just like this one, and while the playoffs have been a rocky experience for Busch, him admitting that he needs help when it comes to driving the car and starting from the rear of the field after an incident in Darlington and in Kansas is not something you'd expect out of the RCR driver. But a 20th place finish at Bristol managed to secure his playoff hopes, and while they are still alive and breathing on machines, Busch is the last man standing and he would not give up that easily. This is something that even his former teammate, Denny Hamlin, has acknowledged as well, and even though he himself said that the move to RCR was definitely a downgrade compared to what equipment Busch had in JGR, if there is anyone who could win the Cup Series right now from the position they are in, it's definitely the former Candyman. When talking about this matter, Hamlin didn't hide any words for Busch, and when he was asked about Busch's move to RCR and his current playoff experience, he elaborated. I don't know. I mean, I think maybe the field does view Busch differently. I don't necessarily. He can carry equipment, a fair amount. That's assuming that equipment is not 100%, which I think it probably is. No, I don't personally look at him any differently. I think it's kind of like absent blows, though, of who's running good right now. Speaking about the track in Texas, Hamlin continued, "It's just a tough track. When SMI reconfigured this thing, we just swung and missed on it for sure, so I don't know what you do with it. The next gen car is really great on all other mile and a half, it's just this one. There's just no tire fall off. I did the tire test, but Goodyear is always going to choose the most durable tire they can to not blow out, and when you have that, you're not going to have any fall off. Then you're going to have guys with old tires go out there and win." The tire situation did raise some questions, not only from Hamlin, but Kyle Larson as well, as the 2021 Cup Series champion went on to continue the thoughts of his old friend and nemesis at the same time, Hamlin, adding, "I don't know what I would do in Texas. I think they've effed it up when they remodeled the surface and the shape. I don't think there's anything you can do. Turns 1 and 2 are the corners that need the most help, but they can't work on that. Shorting up the dogleg is going to do a ton." Be that as it may, Kyle Busch is currently sitting last in the standings, and it's not a secret that he is going to need one heck of a performance in order to bring that car back to the playoffs in the next 2 races, most likely with at least 1 win. Yes, he does have it in himself to do so, and yes, the possibility of seeing him win the 3rd Cup Series championship is not dead yet, but from how things stand right now, he is in a position that he would be very glad to have avoided in the first place. One team that definitely has no issues during the playoffs right now is Hendrick Motorsports, and with William Byron advancing to the playoffs round of 8, it seems like everything is in his hands, as Texas was yet another race in which he made a strong statement on how good his team, the car, and his driving skills are. What do you think about Kyle Busch's latest race? Do you think that he has the force to pick himself up and deliver a killer performance in the following 2 races, or do you think this is game over for the former Candyman? Let us know in the comments below, and if you want to watch more videos of this character, make sure to like our video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification posts.